long as I have a bug, as long as I have a broken watch, I can probably put something together.
Well, some people squash them. Mike Libby of Portland, Maine celebrates them. The guts on these insects, horological.
Yeah, I take real preserved insect specimens and customize them mostly with antique watch parts. But lately I've started, in the last couple years, throwing in some like sewing machine parts.
Cogs, gears, coiled springs, and in some cases, precious jewels.
So this is a Kubochon from Cartier, and it's bezeled with an actual sapphire.
He shared the buzz on how he ended up here.
Yeah, it was back in 1999. I was at an artist residency, which is basically a place where artists can go and make whatever they want. Went to what I thought was kind of a cheeky gimmick of an idea and decided to make a robot bug. I found a beetle a year previous under a vending machine and decided that it was intact enough. I wanted to keep it as a specimen.
With that shell, he used an old Mickey Mouse watch to create his first robot bug. His work certainly progressed, delicate in nature and dynamic by design, opening the Insect Lab in 1999 after graduating from the Rhode Island School of Design.
And last year I started to include some tattoo needles into the bees and the wasps and the hornets. I like to look for those little correspondences between the functionality of the equipment.
His parts, if you will, are acquired in various ways.
Where do you get your bugs?
There's specimen dealers.
I figured as much. You
Yeah.
ever find one on the street still?
Yeah, oh yeah. Like I had my neighbor give me a wasp. It was too small, but her heart's in the right place.
Many of his customers send him a specific insect that they want to glam up.
But he sent me a beetle that he remembered seeing in his father's shop when he was really young, and it was like a 35-year-old beetle. And so in that instance, that person giving me that specimen, the actual bug, the actual specimen itself had like emotional significance.
The tiny nature makes for a tough job.
It's a pain. I mean, it's not easy. It's a combination of making a Fabergé egg in a bottle. Like it's, you know, kind of like a ship in a bottle. It's very delicate, very time consuming.
How do you ship these things?
Very carefully, yeah.
You know what they say about diamonds? The one about being a girl's best friend? That may never change, but the way they go from this to this is evolving.
It's funny because when we were launching the idea of our business together, we sat around our dining room table trying to decide how we would fit into an area where there are so many well-established and beautiful jewelry stores. A social setting where we meet with people and we talk to them and we share space.
You will not find cases full of sparkly baubles inside Tesoro Boston and Middleton. Okay, a couple. But what you will find is a custom-made jewelry bar, a place where conversation leads to design, leads to a unique setting for you and your diamond.
What we really wanted to do is we wanted to listen, hear what the customer had to say.
Working with our clients in this way, they get to really put their personal stamp on it. Jewelry is one of the few items that is governed solely by emotion.
You pick the stone and Narissa brings your thoughts about the design to life on the computer. Or even down to the skin tone. You can see what the ring might look like on your hand.
A slightly darker skin tone or a painted fingernail.
Wow.
We actually have the option to do that.
Think it's perfect? A 3D printer version of your setting is next.
This young woman came in and they're getting married and she's like, I want something that will depict the strength, like our love is like as strong as an oak tree. So we took an oak leaf and then we took another heart-shaped leaf that we found out in nature and made her an alternating oak leaf, heart leaf, oak leaf band.
Whatever you can imagine, or perhaps reimagine.
Pretty close to that. I mean, you know, we understand the engineering behind it, so we know what's not going to work.
If you're wondering if you can afford this personalized approach, well,
It doesn't matter if it's $400 or $4,000 or $40,000 to us. It doesn't matter. The same amount of energy goes into it.
Now that's a good Valentine's Day.
Yes, really.
All right. Well, David grew up in the diamond business, buying and selling and working with major brands and designers, including Vera Wang.
And when he met Narissa and ultimately bought her a ring, they decided to combine his expertise with her IT experience, and the perfect marriage was born.
But Still ahead, upping the food development game.